Hello, and welcome to River Network's self-paced learning series focused on key characteristics of a healthy organization. This particular episode is primarily for those organizations who are just getting started, needing a refresh or reset, or for groups still considering whether or not to start an organization. We hope the introduction of an organizational checklist, coupled with video trainings and downloadable resources, will provide you with a solid start. In this episode, we're going to talk through the organizational checklist resource and provide you with some guidance on crafting and/or evaluating a mission statement for your organization. Even if you aren't part of an incorporated organization, having a mission statement for any group of people gathering for a common goal is very helpful. This episode can help you no matter what kind of group you have or how far along in your organizational journey you are. For those who aren't familiar with River Network, we work to grow and strengthen a national network of water, justice, and river advocates. We convene and build our network with training, resources, peer groups, technical support, funding support, and in-person gatherings like our national conference, River Rally. River Network envisions a powerful and inclusive movement that ensures abundant, clean water for all people and nature to thrive. We believe that joy and hope for our planet flows through our rivers. Our work includes 3 focus areas: climate resilient communities, healthy and resilient rivers, and clean, safe, affordable drinking water. We work to build a strong organization and leaders across all of these focus areas, which is what brings us here today about the key characteristics of a healthy organization. At River Network, we know we do our best work in partnership with others. This video training series is a collaboration with the Hudson River Watershed Alliance, an organization in New York State that is uniting and empowering communities to protect their shared waters. Funding for this series comes in part from the New York State Environmental Protection Fund through the Hudson River Estuary Program. So let's dive in. River Network hears from organizations all over the country about what they need to be successful, and we spent some time hearing directly from organizations in the Hudson River watershed as well. Through these engagements, we have identified 5 characteristics an organization should work to establish to be successful. These 5 characteristics include 1. A mission statement. We will dive deeper into this topic during this episode. A statement of the organization's purpose is a foundational piece of any organization. Number 2, a leadership structure, which clarifies how decisions are made. 3, defined roles, both inside and outside of the leadership structure. Things like written position descriptions and an organizational inventory help set expectations and identify needs. Number 4, a budget, because whether the organization has staff and payroll expenses or is a group of volunteers hosting a few events per year, tracking expenses and income is a best practice when working toward any goal. And number 5, a plan. Whether you want to call this a roadmap, a work plan, or something else, a written plan that can be updated and evaluated on a regular basis helps those involved understand where they're going, what they're doing, and what the end goals are for their work. It's important to note that it's not expected that every organization will have all of the characteristics from the checklist before they are considered official, or that they need to establish every single one before they are considered successful. We like to think of these as goals for every organization to work toward, and once achieved, to regularly evaluate and revise. The first item on this checklist is the mission statement, so that's where we're going to spend most of our time today. On the checklist, we provide a few prompts to help understand what a mission statement is and how to see if yours is effective. We view the mission statement as the strong base of an organizational pyramid. Without it, you're going to struggle in recruiting and retaining leadership and other supporters, and you'll lack definition in your budgets and plans. This episode dives deeper into crafting an effective mission statement, as well as evaluating it over time. An organization's mission statement, according to nonprofit expert Joan Gary, is your North Star. It should describe why the organization exists, inspire people to support it, and guide your work, especially as the organization grows in both scope and staff or supporters. More established organizations use the mission statement to share their values with their members, donors, and funders. Mission statements also provide guide rails, identifying the geographies and constituencies where the organization will serve, the services they will provide, and call out specifically how the organization is unique. Your mission statement dominantly answers the question, what do you do? A more detailed mission statement will also answer the questions, who do you serve and where do you work? Before we continue, I want to make a distinction between a mission statement, a vision statement, and value statements. If you look at any organization's website, they will likely have some combination of these statement types. In our work with organizations, we talk about the mission being the what, answering the question of what do you do? A value statement answers the question how, and usually is answered with themes, methods, or strategies. This is where, for example, an organization's justice-oriented approach, data-driven approach, or equity lens might show up. A vision statement typically answers the question of why. If you are successful on a large scale, what will be realized and why does it matter? An example of this might be saying that our organization envisions a healthy community free from plastic pollution. This is a long-term goal that the mission will work toward over many years. Making the distinction between types of statements can be helpful for keeping your mission statement more concise and organized. If you find yourself adding too much to your mission statement, know that you can remove some of that language and opt to add a vision statement or values statement to support. Drafting a mission statement can be a worthwhile and creative activity for the organization's leadership to participate in. We are going to guide you through how you can lead this exercise yourselves. First things first, some ground rules. Mission statements should be clear and concise. Avoid multiple strings in your mission statement. Try to avoid using the word and more than 2 or 3 times, and focus on the what. It should be direct and to the point, and simple enough to be understood by the community you serve. We actually recommend writing your mission statement at a middle school reading level, so it's accessible for others to read and understand. A clear, concise, and direct mission statement should also be memorable. After it's written, try to recall it without reading. Can you generally remember what it says? A memorable mission statement is easier to recall in conversations with community members, donors, and other supporters. In being memorable, it's best if the mission statement is also short. If you find yourself needing a second sentence, try to be more discerning. We'll come back to the evaluation questions, but they can be helpful to have handy before you start drafting. Make sure you're referencing these prompts as you work. The most important prompt on this list is, does the mission statement help us make decisions? If your mission statement doesn't help you say yes or no to prospective programs and projects, it's not serving its most basic function, which is defining what you do. As we said before, this is a great process for organizational leadership to participate in. In general, your board of directors or otherwise appointed leadership body will be involved in creating the statement. It is a good idea to lean on staff, volunteers, partners, or community members for input if you're an existing organization that is refreshing your mission statement. Generally, evaluating and revising the mission statement every 5-ish years is recommended. This more or less aligns the mission statement with long-term planning efforts, anticipated turnover in leadership, and changes in the community that is being served. Updating the mission statement keeps the organization responsive to changes in the issues the community faces, new resources or strategies to accomplish the work, emerging organizational partners, and the cultural, socioeconomic, and political landscape. So we've talked about what a mission is, why it's important, who is involved in writing it, and basic criteria for evaluating it along the way. Let's talk about how to actually create one. We're going to start with key words and phrases. It can be helpful to focus on nouns here, such as people, places, and things. Who is impacted or engaged in your work? Is it youth, renters, parents? Where do you work? Is it a neighborhood, a watershed, a county? And what do you use to complete your work? Education, advocacy, restoration? Our next list will be action-oriented words, so think of verbs. What are you doing with the people, places, and things listed before? This is often the hardest to narrow down, so remember, we want to avoid strings and lists in our mission statement. Pick the most frequent and impactful actions you take and use those in your mission statement. The last list will be getting more specific, listing adjectives or describing phrases to communicate why your work is unique, relevant, or distinguished. You only need 1 or 2 adjectives to personalize this statement. Again, we're avoiding making it long. So let's go ahead and take an example. We're going to use River Network's mission statement. River Network grows and strengthens a transformational national network of water, justice, and river advocates. In our mission statement at River Network, we answer who. We're talking about a network of advocates. We answer where, national or national organization. We answer what. We grow and we strengthen the national network. And then we add contextual words like water, justice, and river to be more specific about our work. A second example, we can use the Hudson River Watershed Alliance mission statement. So their mission statement reads, the Hudson River Watershed Alliance's mission is to unite and empower communities to protect our shared waters. Again, this mission statement answers where, the Hudson River watershed. It answers who. We're talking about communities in that watershed. And we answer what. Unite, empower, and protect are the key words there. They've also added shared waters, which contextually reinforces the watershed scale of their work. So now it's your turn. To aid in your efforts, River Network has created a worksheet with guidance on crafting your mission statement. It will guide you through the noun, verb, and adjective steps we covered in this video and has the evaluation criteria and basic guidelines on it as well. Print this sheet and use it to work with your board or other leadership on crafting a new mission statement or evaluating an existing one. And remember, the guidance we've provided in this episode is just that, guidance. Use what you need to create or update your mission statement and recognize that you know your work, organization, and community best. As a quick recap before we wrap up, we covered 3 questions that a mission statement answers, with extra emphasis on the mission statement being your what. We reviewed some criteria to evaluate an effective mission statement. This criteria can be helpful while building a mission statement or for reviewing an existing one. We talked about who to involve in the process of writing a mission statement. And finally, we talked through some steps for creating a mission statement and reviewed some examples. We hope that you found this episode useful. This is one of 4 episodes in this series covering the items on the organizational health checklist. The next episode will cover leadership structures for organizations of all sizes and ages. You can reference the checklist at any time for an overview on this episode's topic, available for download from Hudson River Watershed Alliance or River Network. Thanks so much for joining episode 1 of the Organizational Health video series. For more resources to support your group or organization, visit River Network's website at rivernetwork.org. We have additional videos, downloadable resources, and tools for your use.